Welcome to the Space Coast Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Roofer Rob, along with my awesome co-hosts, Jesse Hall, Michelle, and John. Hey, hey.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? I have an awesome show for you today. Today's show is going to be dedicated to all things staging and redesign. One of the most important things to sell a house, but also one of the most important things to keep your sanity in your house by having it look nice. So, Michelle, let's just take it right off. First, we need to thank the Space Coast Podcast for hosting our show. What a great podcast. If anyone's looking for to do a podcast, you should totally give the Space Coast Podcast show a call and set it up, because Jesse's got a great studio here, and it can really get your message across. But right back into it. So, Michelle, where do we start?
So first of all, I think probably understanding, we did kind of the little preview of what staging is in one of our first shows, but just to recap that, the definition of staging, we are looking at that from RESA, which is the Real Estate Staging Association, which is a professional trade association for home stagers and real estate home stagers. So the definition, they define that as the preparation of residential and commercial properties for sale that's on the real estate market. The primary objective of the staging is not to decorate, because Rob's style and Jesse's style and John's style may not be what Sally wants when she's buying her house. So we're looking at what the largest number of potential buyers may want. So we wanted to keep it very neutralized and not very taste specific. And also that is going to help bring the highest price possible. So professional stagers use their knowledge not just in design, but understanding real estate. We look at demographics within that area of the property, where the property is located. So design trends, real estate ethics. We have a certain code of conduct and ethics that we have to make sure that everything is adhered to for any maintenance and repairs. We have to disclose those and repair those properly. And so we have a lot of knowledge and background in renovations and stuff too, and bringing the best return on the investment for the client. So do you guys have any questions? So kind of giving a little background.
What's like a ballpark cost if somebody wanted to have you come in and make their house better?
Okay, so we start with a consultation, and that consultation looks a couple different ways depending upon whether the home is vacant or occupied, because we do service both types of properties. In a vacant property, the consultation is $150 for us to come in. Not only does that give you the opportunity for us to discuss pricing for that particular property, but we do what I call like a mini home inspection. We give the client some suggestions and recommendations on updating maybe lighting or paint colors or hardware. Just sometimes it's the smallest, simplest fixes and changes that can bring the most impact. We very rarely or seldom suggest to do a full renovation. So at that consultation for $150 for the vacant property, then we look at several different things because we customize our pricing. So vacant properties start at $1,800 and go up to like $4,500, $5,000 occasionally for some custom high-end, properties, luxury properties that we might have here on the beautiful Space Coast. For our occupied homes, that consultation's $250, and again, we go in there and look at some of the potential suggestions for updates, renovations, improvements, any maintenance, repairs that need to be done. But then we also take that a step further and give suggestions to the client about what to pack, what to put in a storage unit, a pod,
Clutter removal.
Do what?
Clutter removal.
Yes. Depersonalizing, all those personal collectibles, things like that. So, and we do that in a very tactful, very professional way, and not to help the client to not feel insulted, or that their furniture or their decor, their accessories and their little is ugly, or we don't like their
What's the PC term for
antics.
ugly? Not in style.
Beautifully challenged.
I like that.
Beautifully.
That's appropriate. Yeah, that is good.
Appropriately, beautifully challenged. Yes. Usually, I just say it's not always what most the general public would expect to see. It's not as modern or updated. And then we kind of get to work. I like to take some rooms or areas there at the consultation and just kind of give them a vision of what we can do and get them started at that consultation with some things. So being that I'm a former school teacher, I give them what I call a homework list, a checklist of things to do and get started, because I really believe this is kind of targeted towards sellers, even agents. Do not expect to call your real estate agent on Monday, sign the listing agreement on Wednesday, and list on Friday. To properly market and prepare a home for sale, it really should be over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, possibly even 2 or 3 months, depending upon the condition of the home and what needs to be done, because there's a lot of things that we recommend, or even the agent would recommend. So once they've prepared we've prepared the checklist and suggestions, then we go from there. And then we just have a customized package. We customize the package for pricing for that. Once we see what the client may need for the occupieds, we can bring in furniture, accessories, things like that. So yeah, it just kind of varies.
So if the house is completely empty, you can fill it full of furniture.
Fill it full of furniture.
Plants and
all
that stuff.
Yeah, bring in more junk and clutter. No,
Just
no.
nice junk and clutter.
Nice junk and clutter. Yes, we keep our furniture all up to date and modern and everything. And we have a variety of furniture, because that's one thing as a professional stager. I'm gonna kind of give you some checklists when you're hiring a professional stager, some things to consider and look for. But one thing on that checklist is make sure that their furniture, they have a variety of furniture. If you start seeing the same thing over and over when you're interviewing that client or you're looking at their website or whatever, that could be a red flag. So we have a variety of furniture that fits different styles of homes, because obviously you're not going to put modern furniture in a old Victorian on Pineapple Avenue, So that's really important to make sure that that's there, and get with that. Photography is important. We also look at that and make sure all of our vacant properties packages do include professional photography. So the realtors really like that, because it takes one less thing off Jesse's plate to have to schedule and make sure that everything's done and taken care of ahead of time.
I didn't realize that. That's a great additional service.
Right. So that's always important. So yeah, the consultation is kind of the first step, and then from there, just moving on to specific customized plans for the home and for what needs to be done, because each home's different, each home's unique. It's not kind of cookie cutter, and we'll go from there.
So do you design it? Like, say the owner said, "Hey, I want the house to be beachy or be, and if it." Do you have the final say?
We do. We do like to recommend or remind the clients that we're not necessarily decorating. Staging and decorating are two different things. Mm-hmm. We're not decorating for their taste or their style or their preference. But of course, if the home is located close to the water, we'll put a modern beach flair on it. I always like to remind people we don't use the tacky mermaids and the dolphins and those kind of things. We may put a subtle seashell somewhere here and there.
What about sea turtles?
Sea turtles are cool, yes. But they don't typically have a design say, just because that's what they're hiring the designers for, the professionals. So, yeah. Some advantages of working with a professional stager is we're going to provide you with that consultation. And again, it's things that we see and we note. You've been living in the house for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, so you may not recognize the little hairline crack in the sheetrock in the living room or on the ceiling, but we see that. We look for that. We come in with what we call a buyer's eye and looking at what buyers are going to critique in that home for that consultation. And you have a first-time home buyer, Jesse, that they're going to critique everything, freak out over everything. They see a crack. Oh, the foundation's sinking. We have a sinkhole. So we look at those things, and it's not only going to help the buyer in the end, because they're going to get a quality, home that's been taken care of and maintained and everything, but it also benefits the seller as well. so that those things don't come up during an inspection, or have several buyers that walk away because of those kind of concerns. And just updating light fixtures, for example, and changing out light bulbs. Those things just really make a home feel bigger, brighter, more updated, and again, we'll give them a better return on their investment. So the consultation gives a lot of information there. We look within your budget. We give you suggestions, and kind of give that a priority list of what you can do with, and then keep it within your budget if you need to. Paint. We've got a house that we staged this week, in fact, that we had to kind of put it on hold for a couple days or so just to make sure that the painting could get done and finished up in time. So and it made a big difference. Just even a couple shades different of paint color can really make a difference. So in the occupied homes, just because of COVID, it's kind of changed some of the things that we do in occupied homes. Because of the COVID, sanitation, all those kind of things, we do not bring in bedding or towels or anything soft goods like couches, sofas, accent chairs, things like that. But we'll help. We've got partnerships with rental companies that we could help partner with those to provide some rental furniture if those items are necessary. We also have a concierge service where we will go out and purchase the bedding and the towels and decorative pillows and things for you, and bring those into your home. You make that purchase, and we know it's there. We know it's good to go. We know we have everything at the right colors. It's going to coordinate with the artwork that we've provided, and you get to keep those towels and that bedding and use it in your new home. So it's kind of like something special to look forward to and to take to your new home. And then we bring in the artwork and accessories and things like that just to give an updated look. Worked on a house the other day, and it was just they've moved out physically, but left a lot of their furniture, and we moved a lot to the garage and rearranged and took things down that didn't need to be there. And then we're going to bring stuff in this week and kind of fine-tune it and update a little bit more. So anything else? Y'all want some statistics?
Yeah, I want some
Okay.
statistics.
Some statistics. That's a hard word to say. So I'm looking here on my cheat sheet. So this, some of the stats came a couple of different places and resources for this. NAR's website, and then RESA, like I mentioned earlier, Real Estate Staging Association, and then the Home Staging Resource. They all kind of partnered together and come up with this. So 85% of staged homes sold for 5 to 23% over list price. Now, Jesse can tell you that right now in Brevard County, not just in Brevard County, this is nationwide, that it's a seller's market and homes are selling fast. Is that pretty much the average, even with?
Yeah, and you're actually putting it modestly.
Yes.
I've heard in some circles it's a housing shortage crisis.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard
Nationwide.
Nationwide.
Yeah. And this was actually 2020 statistics that just recently came out. So yes, this was this has probably drastically increased, and this is all related to staging. But even in a seller's market, staging is still vital and very, very important, because yes, it's going to sell when it's vacant, even if it's been updated, but you could be leaving money on the table, because if it's vacant and it's updated but not staged, you're still going to be losing money. Days on market, 23 on average. Our homes right now are selling in 2 to 5 days a lot of times. And again, that 5 to 23, but I would say that that's probably closer to 25 to 30 over list price right now. And so that's a good
I've
good
said
thing
on
there.
previous shows that I think one of the properties that I sold was a big mistake by not staging it. It was my house in Indian Atlantic, and
Right.
it was vacant, and it took way longer than it should have to sell, I think.
Right. And right now, I mean, homes typically you would say should sell within probably the first week or so. But I see every day I get Zillow updates. I've just kind of got my little my research in there, and get those updates. And there's homes that are not staged, that are vacant, that are sitting on the market. So, if that's one of you, if you're the homeowner or you're the real estate agent, give us a call, please.
Yeah, because over 10 days, you should be concerned.
Right.
If you don't have 10 showings in the first 24 hours, you're doing something wrong.
Well, I played, excuse me. I played the coming soon card. You know, they have that new coming
Yes.
soon status. And
I haven't used that yet.
I wasn't quite done with my renovation, and it automatically goes active. And then, yeah,
Oops.
I wasn't ready.
Right. And the home didn't show as well, and people are looking at it. Oh, it still needs some work done on it.
Yeah.
So,
I got that comment a lot.
right.
And when that happens, when they see that, they see dollar signs. Because they're like,
Negative
oh,
dollar signs.
right. So, yeah, for them in their pocket,
Yeah.
dollar signs, oh, look how much we get to save because this guy,
Yeah.
he's not even fully
not-
renovated,
Right.
and he's got to be motivated because he's already done the work. So we kind of got him in a pickle, right? I mean, so we're not going to give him full price. We're probably not going to give him asking, you know, where you know, in this today's market, I mean, things are being sold, like you said, $15,000 over, you know, a moderate price home, you know, which is like 10% of the value on a $200,000 home, and it's happening, and you know, again, we're trying not to create a false bubble by just having inflated prices and let people just buy everything, right? We've learned our lesson in 06 and 7, 8. So what's you know, the appraisers, I mean, what a conundrum. You know, they're pinned between two parties that really, really want to work together, but they got to come in and make sure that, you know, the value is what the value should be.
Right.
And using their best to calculate it with comps and, of course, the upgrades and stuff like that. But you're not going to be able to get not only full list price or over, or selling in the shortest amount of time unless those repairs are complete. And again, really helps with the staging. I've seen just incredible movement with a staged home versus a non. I mean, because you got to figure. I mean, the staging. I mean, everybody loves a model home, and it's so. How do you
Builders are
say?
smart. They know.
It's so It's just it's
inviting.
It's uneventful when you walk into your home that you bought, because you're like, because people buy the model.
Yeah.
People buy the furniture and everything the way it looks, and they walk in and it's just like, ugh. Like it's like so anticlimactic. It's like, oh, I guess I got to do all the work now to make it look like the model we bought, because those models, you know, you got professionals like Michelle who just create such a beautiful space, and they appoint all the right things, just enough art, just enough, you know, knickknacks on the tables, just enough throw pillows, just enough of everything. It's just that is what people buy.
Right. That emotion. And
It's
that's
emotion.
what we really try to focus on, those emotional connection points,
Right.
and, you know, creating that lifestyle, that vision for what buyers can envision themselves living in that property.
Right.
Because, yeah, we want them to fall in love with it. You know, buyers are looking at 5, 10, 15, 20 houses a day or a weekend, and we want that house to stand out.
Right. You're not going to remember
Exactly.
the
It has to be
vacant ones
memorable.
with, you know, with bad paint, and, you know, that purple bedroom and that pink bedroom and that blue bedroom, and it's like, oh my God.
You're going to
those are
remember
nice,
it, but
though.
not in a positive
No,
way.
you're going to remember, like, okay, I got to paint three rooms in that house, you know, and again,
You'll probably name it the Purple Bedroom House. That's how you remember it.
that
The Barney house.
John,
Already
you've
out.
showed enough properties. That's how it happens. Yeah,
Yep.
people will associate a house with the condition.
Oh, right.
Oh, remember the ugly yard house? Oh, remember the beautiful porch house? Like, I mean, that's how people connotate with, you know, because and just for the record, I will not show you more than 8 homes in a day, because you're just not gonna.
Overload.
You're not going to remember that.
It's
many.
after the first 5, your mind already goes numb. You've already decided that you really like the master on the first one, and you're just trying to find things that beat the first one, so you feel confident to make an offer on the first one. Just, you know, if you, first of all, in this market, if you see something that even gets close to all your check boxes, you know,
Yeah. By the time
you
you're
may
in
have
the
to
fifth
compromise,
house-
and because there is no perfect home for that, you know, for anybody right now, unless you build. I mean, let's be honest, you know, unless you
Well,
get a
even
custom
then,
home.
You probably have to compromise.
Well, even in a normal market, you're not going to find something that hits all the check marks. So you just have to have the non-negotiables. You know, which ones can I not live without? Let's get back to the emotional
Right.
conversation. I just want to go ahead and listen to some sponsors real quick.
Okay.
We'll come back on all your side, guys. We'll go ahead and dive into again the emotional connection and so much more with Michelle, and of course the rest of us here at the Space Coast Real Estate Show. Don't go anywhere. And remember to share this podcast. Be a friend. There's somebody who's probably thinking about selling, and this podcast will really help them. So do your part, share this podcast, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is John Maselli with Movement Mortgage, Beachside, Indy Atlantic. Movement Mortgage is a faith-based organization, and our mission statement is as follows. We exist to love and value people by leading a movement of change in industries, corporate culture, and communities. To me, this mirrors my own business philosophy. My goal is to help people finance purchases or refinance current properties stress-free and at great terms. Help people, and everything else follows. By the way, if you have equity tied up in your house, the only way to get it out is to refinance. Pull that equity out and pay off high interest debt or build a pool. My office is at 225 Fifth Ave, Suite 4, Indy Atlantic. Call me anytime at 321-248-6245 or visit my website, loanapply.approved.com for more information or apply to qualify for a mortgage today.
You're listening to Space Coast Podcast, home of the greatest podcasts on the Space Coast. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or having your own show, email us at spacecoastpodcast@hotmail.com. Space Coast Podcast. Talk hard!
Roofer Rob here with RRCA Roofing and Reconstruction Contractors of America. We are an insurance restoration specialist. What is that, and how is that important? Well, let me tell you, in Florida, what we find is most homeowners sign up for their insurance, pay a premium, and then when they file a claim, the insurance company tries to pay them a minimum. Not cool. We specialize in using the software that the insurance companies use and holding them accountable to the policy that they sold you and ensuring that you get a premium roof for your premium. Check out rooferrob.com and download my free report on the Florida roofing secrets that the insurance companies don't want you to know. In that report, I'll give you all of the secrets on how you can be successful and get a premium roof for the premium that you spend. Or you can call me direct at 321-368-1881. Welcome back to the Space Coast Real Estate Show. This is your host, Roofer Rob. Right before the break, we were talking about home staging and redesign, and we have a whole show dedicated to it because it's such a broad subject, and it covers pretty much every area of buying and selling a house. So, Michelle, go ahead and pick it back up where you left off.
Okay, so we were talking about emotions and how emotions, buyers are buying homes based on the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So they walk into a house, we've got the, table set up with, the cereal and the bowl of cereal and, the milk and all that.
I love those little appointments that you guys do.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God, it's so thoughtful. Yeah.
Right. You just, in the coffee cup on the table by the, bay window in the living room or the master bedroom. So just those little things just to help buyers remember the home when they've seen 5 others, and just to fall in love with that home. The word inspire means to breathe life into something, and that's kind of our whole point and objective is to bring life and breathe life into every home that we stage, and buyers feel that.
Yeah. Can I tell you about one of my emotional? So I was showing a condo on the beach, and some people, they point to sofas at the TV.
Right.
Well, and this was a beautiful, like, big balcony, like probably like a 4-door balcony. I mean, you could open these sliders and just, just the outside becomes the inside and vice versa. So beautiful. And they did something so unique. I haven't seen this, but they actually had 2 recliners facing, the ocean outside on the beach, and the furniture was facing actually outside. And I was like,
awesome. You don't
I was
need
like,
a
what's the
TV.
point of this? And then you draw back, the curtain, and it's like,
The screen.
oh my God,
Yes.
it's like, look how beautiful this,
Yes.
whatever, screen curtain. But I was like, that just made the whole place. I haven't forgot it since. I'm like, and I'm gonna do that when I get a condo on the beach. I'm gonna point my furniture
Right.
to the
It-
outside
it's a
instead
great
of on a
idea.
TV.
It's a great idea because
It
you
is.
release the screen and now you have your
And
That's
and
your money view.
yeah, and that's what you pay for.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like, and here I actually see like couches turned like to the back
Right.
of that view to look at the TV wall.
Right. We did that
And
one time.
and I just thought, gosh, this is exactly how furniture should
Mm-hmm.
be, associated in a beautiful place like this.
Right.
And so for me, I fell in love with the condo. My buyers had other ideas about what a condo should look like, but it was a staging, and it was that wow, that aha, like,
great
oh my
idea.
God, this makes so much sense.
Right.
And I was so impressed.
Right. Well, that's what we do a lot of times, is making kind of lead into, hiring a stager and what sets stagers apart from each other, because there's a lot of options out there for staging and
Sure.
for, for who you hire. But we always make sure that every square foot of the rooms that we are staging, we typically, and I'm going to give you a little bit more background on which rooms to stage and which ones are recommended, but we make sure that every square foot of the areas that we are staging are shown as useful and useful purpose or areas. We had a condo very much like you're doing or you were talking about, Jesse, there, that if you had moved the couch all the way back or you'd rotated it, it just would have really been, we call it the timeout. They'd been so far away, somebody would have felt like they were in timeout. But we did that and turned the chairs around the other way. So it creating that useful space in that area and creating two separate areas.
Right.
So when you're hiring a stager, whether you're a homeowner or whether you're a real estate agent, you've never worked with a stager before and you're looking at that or considering, research your options. Like I said, there's a lot of stagers here in Brevard County. Check around, check with your colleagues, your friends, your neighbors, whomever, and see who they recommend. Of course, on the list should be Inspiring Home Staging and Redesign. And then also, search the website or the internet. Do some research then on each one that you come up with.
Yeah.
View portfolios, ask for references, all of those kind of things. Professional photography is so important, so make sure it's professional photography. And
Michelle, is there a professional, like, people can look at all my reviews on Zillows and everything else. Is there a professional equivalent for stagers that they could go see, like a Better Business Bureau or something where you get rated and so on?
not currently, because we're not a regulated.
Right. It's okay. It's not regulated.
Not regulated. But on our website or on Facebook, we do have Inspiring Homes 321 is our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I think that's scrolling on the homepage here for the podcast. But we do have reviews that we get, locally from that. My Google business page has reviews on there. I am a member of Better Business Bureau as well, so
So you got a 5 out of 5 on your. Yeah.
Yes. So we come highly recommended, and we very seldom have complaints about anything as far as what we do, the work. It's just, they're very pleased.
Well, you're in one of those really cool positions where you just make things nice. I think one of the best positions that I ever had was working at like a spa, where people are already coming in expecting, already with the anticipation, with the expectation that I'm going to relax and nothing's going to go wrong, and I'm going to have a professional, and we did. We provided that, and it was like smiles in, smiles out. Like there was never like, that was a horrible foot rub. You just don't get that. So when I left that and I actually went to like restaurants and actually other service, I'm like, why are people so mad?
The food doesn't taste
Why are you
good.
so mad? Like it's a good steak. Oh, it's overcooked. I'm like, oh, not really. If I put it, and you don't argue. You're like, yes sir, and you go back and you just make it,
Right.
Stop the realtor on realtor anger.
Yes.
Be nice to each other.
Be nice. But the association,
the Real Estate Staging Association.
Being able to have a place where people can go and find professionals. I mean, if that's a vacuum, maybe we could do better. Maybe we'll build our own association.
Well, the RESA, the Real Estate Staging Association, you can go onto that website and search for stagers that are members of that organization. And again, that's a professional organization. for
Do you have to
members.
qualify?
We do. I mean,
Okay.
they do background checks and things
Wow,
like
okay.
that. And well, it depends on what level. I am on a higher tier level where I am certified to teach classes to realtors for CE credits and all that cool stuff. But you can search for agents there as well if they're members. But
Oh.
it's you have to pay to be a member, and then
Sure.
we have as stagers, and part of that, yes, we do have to keep up CE credits as well to qualify to stay on that membership and everything too.
Well, that's important.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it sounds like that credential.
They're working
sets
toward
you apart. Yeah.
right, and they're working toward becoming more of a recognized profession and
Right.
regulated. So
And you offer classes to realtors for.
I do, and I've got one or two coming up the end of April, and then one in May scheduled already. So
At the board,
Nice.
or
one's at the board and one's at a local brokerage.
cool.
So yeah, so I just
Well, depending on where when this episode airs, you may have just missed this.
yes,
couple
but we have
classes.
others coming soon. I
Right,
have them
exactly.
scheduled throughout the year already, different times.
Perfect.
So yeah, so when you're looking at for a stager, just again, kind of meaning I talked about the architecture of the home, the style of the home, location, demographics. Make sure that they have the furniture, the accessories, and decor to complement that home, and make sure that that's something good there. Make sure that it's their photos, not stock photos. You can copy that photo and then search it in Google, and if it comes up on that purchase now site, you can that's that's a no-no. Ask about resources, references and their resources. How long have they been in business? We've been in business since 2013, so we've got a lot of years experience. My two stagers on our team have a lot of experience too. One of them worked for a high-end builder in model homes and things like that for many years, and the other one worked in cabinetry design and things too. So that's important too, knowing their team's background. Do they have a variety of furniture? We mentioned that. Insurance, make sure they're insured, and that they have the right kind of insurance for what they do.
And what kind of insurance do you carry?
We have workman's comp and liability, and we don't move the client's furniture. I have sometimes the clients will ask, well, can you have your movers come in here and do this? No,
Right.
we're not insured as movers, so we're insured only to move and our furniture. So
Right, okay.
we can't move their stuff around. So we'll slide it and do what we can, but as far as physically moving it, no, we cannot. Check references, of course. That's always important. Interview. I take my realtors out for coffee. I was like, hey, let's meet for coffee. Let's just get to know each other a little bit more and get to know if we're a good fit. Not everybody's going to want to work with me, and I may not want to work with every other realtor. There's just personality differences, expectations, and things like that. And that's great. There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of great stagers, a lot of great realtors, and we can all, kind of find the right fit for our team.
And there really is somebody for everybody, right?
Exactly.
And that's why there's not a monopoly. There's not just one lender, one realtor, and I wouldn't even want that job because I do the same thing. I qualify people. I'll walk in and I'll say, listen, 3 things are going to happen. Either you're going to like me and hire me, either I'm not going to be a fit for you and I'm going to decide that, I need to go, or, there's going to be another outcome. But typically, I set up the expectation like you could say no, I could say no, or we could both say yes, So there's you always want to leave that available because not everybody. I mean, again, there's some really, if you do the DISC exercise, you understand the different personality types. I know who I get along with, and I know there's others that I'm just not going to vibe. Now I'm kind of a social chameleon, so I could pretty much vibe with anybody.
I'm a high I.
But are you? You're I? So I think I'm. What was I? C? I forget. But interview that. Interview them absolutely because there are choices, and don't be forced to just go with my friend said you were great. Well, your friend's right, but I'm not sure. Again, if we're a match, if you're looking for a medieval theme or a goth theme for your church convert, to like a Gothic castle. I don't know, whatever. You're not going to be like, I can't do that for you. But please, I heard you're the best. But honestly, I don't have what you need. I just don't. We're not going to. This isn't going to work out. So that's important. I just want to let the audience know. Definitely shop around. you know, if you ask me for, hey, do you know a lender? I'm going to give you 3 names. I'm not just going to go here talk to this guy, because I'm, you know, if I haven't met you yet face to face, I'm not going to say. Well,
That's messed up.
well, not only that, and here's another
Come on,
reason.
man.
I don't want you coming back at me like, you told me,
what
you know,
John did?
you told me to go to this guy.
This is my
I'm
buddy
like-
John. This is
I'm
my
like-
other buddy, Mr. Maselli. This is my other friend. We'll
Loan
call him
apply
Mr. M.
approved.
Captain John.
My
Mr.
other
Movement.
friend, loanapply.approved.com.
So, but it's important, guys. You know, because and then if John's like, why'd you send me this really needy, whatever, you know, the case may be, and you'd be like,
Person.
I'm like, we just didn't, you know, we didn't hit it off, but I'm still gonna do the business, even though we don't get along. Like that's not how
It's just
relationships are.
stressful for everybody.
It does. It creates an unneeded anxiety.
And more than likely, as a stager, we're not going to do our best work if we know that there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of pressure on us to do a certain thing, or
Or if they're expecting you to be
questions,
somebody that you're not.
exactly.
Right.
Right. And the last thing, as far as when you hire a stager, when you're looking for stagers, if you've got 2 or 3 that you're still kind of not sure of, or you want some more information, get bids from the 2 or 3 stagers, and and get that. When you're getting those bids, always check, and kind of compare apples to apples, and make sure that you're getting the same number of rooms, the same amount of furniture. Like I said, we're a custom home staging company. So we don't just say, oh, okay, well, for a living room, it's X numbers of dollars, and we're only going to stage this half of the living room. That back there, we didn't count. So that's going to stay empty, because we really want to make sure that everything is looked, like I said, every square footage is useful. So get pricing from 2 or 3 stagers.
Right.
Don't always go with the lowest. I know and understand that people are on a budget, but don't always assume that the lowest price is the best price, or don't always look at the lowest price, because many times, not always, but at times, for the bid that you get the lowest price on, you may get what you pay for, because that room could be left sparse or not very functional or useful, or
And
not have the vision.
Not only that, but there's also something called the bait and switch. Like they'll get in the door with the lowest price, and then be like, oh, but we have to add this a la carte. Oh, and there, oh, you want that? That's an extra fee.
Right,
Oh, wall
right.
hanging. So we could do it for an extra fee, or you could do it yourself. I mean, and it's like then they nickel and dime you to death,
Right.
and it's the same difference. So yeah, I mean, I'm usually skeptical of the very low, cheap, or inexpensive service provider. I want good customer service, and if I call you and it's like, well, you get what you pay for, I'm not available on the weekends, it's like, oh, I should have probably gone for spent the extra money for somebody who actually has good customer service, who will answer the phone when I need it. It's critical, guys.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Because
And they may
remember,
not-
there's a return on this as well.
Right,
so
absolutely.
That's an important
And they may
point.
not have the staff or the employees or the help, the assistants, to take care of what needs to be taken care of. I've got, like I said, 2 stagers, 2 designers, and I have 2 movers on staff that take care of all that. So that adds the cost, but it also adds value in the fact that I have people that are qualified and can take care of business and get the job done in a timely manner. So yeah, definitely. Rooms to be staged. What do y'all think? What rooms?
Kitchen,
Bedroom,
bathrooms, master.
Okay.
I think the living room.
living room,
Living room.
too.
Living room, kitchen,
I thought that was a good one.
master.
Yeah.
How about the porch?
The porch. Of course, we live in Florida. Everybody lives on the porch. That's the living room, right?
Unless
Outdoor space.
it leads to just nothing. It's like a porch and like 0 lot, like just like
fence right here.
up against a fence. Like you don't want to highlight that. That's
Or
not
a
good.
yard full
but,
of weeds.
but hopefully the patio, forward, the porch out in the front of the house, because sometimes patios and lanais don't scream like wow, Same thing with like a condo on the beach. Like no one's really decorating, the west looking area. They're all everybody
blinding.
decorates, the ocean front portion. So yeah, not every outdoor space makes sense to decorate.
Right.
Also, 4 bedrooms. Are you really going to decorate more than the master? Maybe if you're doing like a really cool theme, like a kids bedroom with like bunk beds and it's like really fun, or like that home office, right? Because that's very important. So,
Absolutely.
you know, that's more people are looking for that. So you want to kind of show them what that's going to look like. So if you were to do just one of those extra bedrooms, I mean, it would really have to make that room that much wow and making something that's maybe tired and putting some life into it. Or again, if it's like a multi-bedroom home, and again, you're not going to do all 4 bedrooms, but you know, maybe just 2 of them, you know, to show that that one of the bedrooms could be a flexible space and could
Right.
be something fun like a kid's playroom or an office.
Right. Yeah, right. You know, with COVID and everything, a lot of people are working from home. So that's something that we've seen in design trends, and people and buyers are looking for is home offices.
They call it the Zoom room now.
The Zoom room now,
The
the
Zoom
Zoom
room.
background.
The den.
So yes, we are looking at ways when we're staging properties to try to find a way to incorporate that home office. You know,
Yeah.
many times. So yeah, secondary bedrooms, that is not always necessary. We've got a few. I mean, we have, you know, stuff that we could use in secondary bedrooms. Typically, it's if it's one of those purple bedrooms that is probably cheaper to stage than it is to repaint, you know, for the seller, or they just don't have the time to repaint or whatever. We worked for a builder for a while, and he liked to make angled walls, and so his walls, they were great, they were amazing, but he would put angled walls in the hallway and stuff, and sometimes it would cause those bedrooms to be a little awkward, and so oftentimes we would stage those secondary bedrooms for that purpose too. So typically, yes, you're right, guys. The most important they found is the living room, because that's where buyers are going to be spending most of their time. So that
Right.
was a 46% on the survey. The master bedroom came in at 43%.
That's also high.
Yes, very high, because that's the retreat. And
Right.
I have a couple of investors that we work with. Oh, I have more than a couple, but
Right.
anyway, one of them was like, "Well, we don't really need to stage the master. It's a master." And I'm
That's
like,
where
"No,
it
no,
all
no, no."
happens.
where the
That's
magic
the
happens.
magic happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, sleeping.
So
Well, that's where the family grows from, right?
Right,
Everything starts in the
absolutely. It starts
master.
in the master.
No,
It's
nobody
so good.
decides, wow, this is a great guest room. I'm going to leave that room vacant, and
Yes.
honey, we're just going to use this and the guest bath. Like,
Right.
nobody
I
says
call the
that.
master the workshop.
It works. Ooh, okay.
Guess he
Yes,
goes to
that's,
work.
Get down to business.
that's the homeowner's retreat. So
Yeah.
we definitely encourage that. And then, of course, like you said, the dining, the kitchen area, because that's another space that, you know, the mom cooking dinner, and in my case, my hubby. And so 35% came in the dining room because, you know,
Dining room?
the dining room or the kitchen dining area,
Okay.
because that's kind of the hub of the home. That's where
Well-
the warmth, the love is.
Well, if you're doing a kitchen and it has that eat-in, you know, area, little eat-in, what do they call it, like a little
Nook.
nook, breakfast nook or whatever, you know, then you have the, you know, if there's like a counter, then it's like a breakfast bar, you know, so you have all these positions where you could put place settings and little, you know, things going on and make it look like, wow, you know, this kitchen rather can sit 6 people comfortably, you know, 2 at the bar, 4 at the table, you know, and then people could start realize like, wow, we could entertain and,
Right.
you know, but people without looking at, you know, presets, it's really hard to you know, imagine what a for instance, you know, a 3-seat or 4-seat table is going to look like in that nook, right? Or maybe you just need a bistro table, just a nice high top with two stools, right?
Absolutely.
So depending on how what the size looks like. So I think it's really important for people to have a kind of like a landmark or again something just that fills that space where they can judge and imagine something else occupying there,
Right.
you know. And they may love the high top idea.
Right.
They may love the bench, you know, on against the wall with like a picnic style table,
Right.
you know, and like 2 chairs on the other side. Like there's so many
Options.
ways
Yeah.
that you can make a space and create it. I would find that the hardest time is getting your furniture back, because once people buy it and they see it like that, it's really hard to get it back.
Yes.
Like they love it the way it is.
Right. I was at a house today this morning. I went by and picked up. The buyer bought the living room furniture, and that does happen more often than not. And so the girls, my stagers, love it because they're like, oh, we get to go shopping again.
Yeah.
But they also had
You don't
considered.
have to move it.
Yes.
Yes, you don't have to
pay
move.
for moving. And then and it always comes back to the warehouse. We sanitize and clean everything, and then before we put it back into another home. But they had the buyer had asked about purchasing the artwork, and so we left the artwork, and then before We left the artwork when we picked up all the other stuff. Well, then they got back with me and said, well, we've changed our mind. We were going to do some painting and everything, and I don't want to have to worry about trying to store the artwork. So I went by there today, actually, and picked up the artwork, and the seller was doing their walkthrough. And she's like, I'm so glad you staged this property because now I'm seeing it empty. And they're like, if I would have seen the house empty, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because when you had that couch sitting over there, I could see that it was a large couch and that it could fit a large couch. So that's what Jesse's talking about. It's a perspective or a perception. Buyers cannot visualize.
People don't have imagination.
They don't.
Right?
They don't know, oh,
Some
okay,
people
well,
do.
that's an 8-foot wall. I can put a 6-foot table or a couch, or how big is a couch? What's the standard size on a couch?
Right.
So that was really encouraging and interesting to hear from a buyer firsthand that, she was glad that we had it staged, because had it not been staged and she's back there with it empty, she might not would have been as
So what's
wowed.
that worth to you sellers?
Yes,
Exactly.
sellers. You don't miss out on buyers.
I'll tell you what, at this point, I just want to pay some respect to our beautiful sponsors.
Yes.
Let's come back. We're going to wrap the show up.
Yes.
I want to hear about some fun stories,
Some fun stories, yes.
and maybe some not so fun stories. And then finally, we're going to maybe do top 5 things homeowners can do today
Okay.
with their existing furniture or whatever else. So don't go anywhere. Once again, we'll be right back. This is the Space Coast Real Estate Show. And again, as we return, we're going to close it out. So don't go anywhere. This is where it gets fun. See you guys.
Are you in the market for a new home? Perhaps you need to sell your old home and downsize or relocate. Hey there, my name is Jesse Hall with eXp Realty, and I offer professional real estate services right here on the Space Coast. Give me a call, 321-877-8737 for all of your real estate needs. Again, 321-877-8737 for all of your real estate needs. Buy, sell, invest with the best. Find out more at 321-buysellinvest.com.
Hi, Michelle Carpenter with Inspiring Home Staging and Redesign. We are Brevard County's premier home staging team, founded in 2013. You may ask, why stage your home or listing in a seller's market? Well, let me tell you, staged homes not only sell for 86% faster, but for 17% higher price. We have services for vacant, occupied, and luxury home staging. The definition of home staging is the professional service of preparing homes for sale in a way to appeal to potential buyers that generates a higher sale price. Our mission is faith, family, and community. Your home is your biggest investment, so stage yours today to get a higher price. Contact the team that inspires at 321-806-6543.
And we're back. So, horror stories, success stories, things homeowners can do today. We got about 12 minutes.
Okay, so,
I have a timeline question.
okay.
Oh.
Yes.
So
good question.
when you, how's the timeline play out? Like after a contract is in place, do you keep the furniture in there until closing? Do you keep?
That's smart.
Do you?
I didn't even think of that.
2 weeks before closing. What if the deal falls through?
Right. Great question. Okay. So we go in, we do the consultation, we send you an email with a quote, proposal, contract, all that great stuff. You sign, you document, pay us a deposit of half online via a secured website, and then we get you scheduled. We don't schedule until you paid your deposit because we can't be out that money. Just
Fair enough. Yeah.
good business sense. And then our contract is for 60 days. Yes, I know you don't need it for 60 days, but it's just kind of a peace of mind added bonus, because we did this kind of as a promo probably early last year. It was originally 30 days. I'm going to add 30 days more as a promo for free and not charge the client the $350 monthly fee. And we found that we still didn't really need that extra time. So we did it as a promotion. So you get 60 days. But the reason we do that 60 days and for that peace of mind is because, yes, homes are selling. They're probably going to close in around 30 to 45. But we recommend keeping them staged through the inspection and the appraisal, just in case you don't get a clear to close from Movement Mortgage because the homeowner went out and bought a new car, or whatever the case. Don't do that. Don't buy new furniture.
Don't even apply for a Publix gift card. Just don't do nothing. Just
So, and we've had that happen. Unfortunately, you know that things happen and whatever. But through inspection, through appraisal. And then we'll get it moved out usually the week of the closing, you know, like 2 or 3. The walkthrough is the day before. So, and we all have ELB access, E-codes or E-key access. I'll get that right in a minute because we're members of the association, the Super Key. So myself and the 2 girls have access to that. So it makes it easy access to get in. You know who's there, we're vetted and all that. So yeah, great question. And definitely important.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So after inspection, after appraisal.
Right. Well,
yeah. No, that's
the inspectors and the appraisals are human too. And if buyers see the home as being more well maintained, more value, don't you think the appraiser is going to as well?
You know,
sorry, appraisers.
No, that's such a good point. You know, the appraiser is going to go, "Why are you guys offering $10,000 over asking?"
Right.
And if it's an empty vacant, it's like it doesn't compute. They're going to be like, do these people hate money? Do they just love overpaying for stuff? But yeah, if they walked in, it was like showed like a model. The appraisers, I mean, like you said, you know, people appreciate nice things. People know when things look good, when things don't look so good, when things are attractive, when things are mediocre at best. It's just natural.
An appraisal is an opinion.
It is an opinion.
It is an opinion.
Yep.
I mean, and that's why I'm typically there at appraisals, so I could be like, well, what's your comps, buddy?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Mr. Out of State, you know, appraiser. You know, I'm like, do you know this market? You know, but it just goes to show that being in that opinion, it's subjective. There's not like a concrete. This is what it's paid for. Or, you know, this is the worth. I mean, you know, it's artwork. I mean, there's tons of things that are relate in the same kind of manner. There's, you know, it's just an opinion. So, you know, and it goes back to like, well, and then how much is it worth to somebody? How much is it worth to the, you know, Picasso's go for $10 million, even though most people wouldn't pay $1 million for one, but because it just identified with that buyer. So the buyer is willing to overpay or willing to put a value on it that maybe other people don't see for sentimental reasons or whatever. Right. With that being said, what else can homeowners do to improve their existing home, even though maybe they just moved in and they just have some, you know, maybe they're just trying to figure out their furniture or trying to figure out some place settings or, you know, maybe declutter a hallway with a bunch of family photos. Right,
yeah. So we can provide a consultation that we call that redesign. Right. And that a consultation very similar to occupied, staging. Right. Come in, give them some ideas, find out what's working, what's not working. I can make arrangement or suggestions. I was actually at an appointment this morning, rearranging furniture, possibly, you know, solving some problems that, oh, well, this piece worked in my old house, but in the new house it's not working. You know, we were trying to figure out a way for the dog crates to be in the family room this morning.
So what are some like rules of thumb? Like I've heard like, you know, pulling furniture away from the wall to make it look bigger. So what are like some other things without a consultation?
Without a consultation, just, you know, try to figure out the focal point of the room. Where are you wanting, you know, the
people
gathering
to draw
to, you know, whether it's a TV, whether it's the view of the fireplace. Fireplaces, yes, in Florida. So, and don't have furniture so far back. It's okay to put furniture in the middle of the floor, you know, your couch, to
people
float
love to shove stuff right up against the wall.
Again, we call it the timeout corner. Don't feel like you have to put everything against the walls and float stuff out in the middle. Make it more warm and inviting when you float it and pull it in to make a conversation center or an area.
And how do you do that?
Just by adding that warmth with greenery, with pillows. Yes, we love
pillows,
plants.
Greeneries. Okay.
Yes, we love plants.
A space within a space.
Yes, and just creating those little vignettes, those little areas. You know, pulling the couch forward closer to the TV that could create an area in the back to maybe hide the kids' toys, the pet toys, whatever, you know, the dog bed, or a great place to add a desk. You know, we need an actual, you know, workspace now. So declutter. Just start looking at things that, you know, the client today had those lovely plant shelves and just had them lined with stuff all the way around, just lined with stuff. And I said, no. We're going to take it down.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't know what to do. I just stuck it up there. Okay, that's great. I can see what you've got. Let's take it down and group things together. You know, like a tall. I call it peaks and valleys. You know, something tall, something medium, something short, and group items that are similar or that are kind of like friends that work well together. Put those together and do that maybe in the corner or in the center and kind of spread some things out. When you have it all spread out, it's clutter. When you bring like items together and create one focal point, it becomes like a vignette and a group and a family, and it's less cluttered and it's more soothing to the eye.
How many art pieces should be on like a single wall?
Well, we like big art.
Yes.
So that is, you know, a nice big impactful piece of art, one wall and one piece of art. It depends on the style of the home though. That's a little bit more of a modern look. If you're kind of going for that shabby chic or that farmhouse or that rustic style, groups and collages are really popular in that style.
With that rustic frame.
That rustic, yeah.
You put like 4 or something.
Yeah, and you know, when we do collages, we do like to mix, you know, some metal, some frame and some metal and maybe some a mirror or something
Different
like
materials.
that. Different materials, different shapes, different sizes.
Like that.
So that's fun. And again, it just kind of depends on the style and the purpose.
Where do you not
area
put a
rugs.
mirror?
Right when you walk in the front door.
Don't put a mirror there.
No. I don't study feng shui, but
Right.
I've learned enough over the years that that's not cool. Or a
Mm.
clock. Because
Oh.
everybody's worried about time. They feel like they're rushed.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's not inviting, is it?
No.
Like look how that wind blew your hair as soon as you walk in. Like, oh my
You
gosh.
need to touch that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in the old days, your grandma had this little table with a mirror, you know. I mean, a mirror is not too bad in the entry, but not when you first walk in and see it right. If it's on the side, it's okay.
Yeah, inconspicuous. You were going with the area rugs.
Oh, area rugs. You
Yeah.
know, just make sure the area rugs are the right size and for the area and the space. Typically in a dining room that seats for like 6 to 8 chairs, you need at least an 8x10 area rug. In the family room, living area, probably an 8x10. 6x9 is also another good size. The 5x7s just look small and it makes it look like you were kind of going on cheap.
Right.
We are cautious, and then I do recommend this even to clients for staging for sale, but even for clients that are existing living there, especially in some of our elderly communities, making sure the rugs are not in a traffic way or walkway that you could trip and fall.
What about runners?
No.
No, is that
No.
is that archaic? Like,
Yeah.
there's no place for runners in
Looks like a
today's.
bowling
Plastic runner.
It looks like-
A bowling alley. Yeah, no, I mean, occasionally.
but what about like a long hallway that just needs something?
Many times, we don't like a lot of the little small accent area rugs in places because one, a tripping hazard. Two, if it's for sale, it hides the beautiful flooring.
That makes sense.
And it can make it feel kind of closed in, cave-like, claustrophobic.
What if you have a seller who has kind of like ugly paint throughout the house, and he's like, I'm not putting a dime into this house. I'm just going to sell it. What do you do?
Ugly paint, as in what color?
Just-
Ugly.
Yeah, just
Ugly.
whatever color. that's
Well,
just
turquoise-
Orange,
Not-
mauve.
turquoise is our.
Purple.
We actually staged a mauve house the other day. Yes,
purple
the
room.
girls were like, "Is this whole house mauve? Even the floor, the carpet."
The 90s
Yeah.
want their
Yes.
design back.
But turquoise is our signature color, and fortunately, turquoise goes good with a lot of other colors as an accent color, so that's nice. Yeah, so
Especially next to like one of those like mirror spheres or anything, so it reflects the turquoise.
Turquoise,
I mean,
yeah,
just
like
something about turquoise and like a chrome or a nice, mirror finish.
what kind of gives
just
that
goes a
water
long way.
feel?
Yeah.
That's one reason I chose the colors because we're close to water and it's nice and cool and reflective.
I like that.
Makes
Calming,
sense.
calming. Yes.
calming.
So paint color, we haven't even really touched into like remodeling and redecorating. That's kind of what we're doing now. But light fixtures are a really inexpensive update that if you don't if you're okay with cookie cutter and going to Lowe's or Home Depot and getting something that's, you know, kind of a box store kind of look, you can get some nice pieces for relatively inexpensive, and that makes a huge impact on updates and just making the home feel a little bit more
Bright
updated.
LEDs.
But not daylight. We used to say daylight, and then we've kind of backed away and going more soft white, because then we realized it looked like you were in a hospital, especially because everybody was going gray with the gray walls and the gray tile and everything. It looked too much like a hospital.
Yeah, I like a nice cooler tint.
Right.
I like
Light.
the cooler too.
Right. With
Warmer.
See, I'm
Well-
the opposite. I'm
well, see, I like
daylight
more
all
I
the
like
way.
more blues
Blues,
in my
okay,
grays
yes,
and blues in the lighting, because you could choose. I mean, especially with smart lights.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way,
Choose, yes.
we're gonna have an episode where it's just all about the
lighting.
tech and the geek, and because I have the
Oh.
Philips bulbs. I got the white. I can unlock my front door from here. I can
Smart houses.
Yeah, smart
Yes,
houses. Yeah, all
cool.
that techie, geeky stuff. But we'll get there. Anything else? So you know, with people, you know, they could pretty much choose from 18 million colors with these Philips bulbs. At least that's what they tell you.
They are.
What is something that people should set as a default if they have like a smart bulb? Like bluer or more warmer?
Well, I think it depends on their decor
Yeah.
and what color their walls and their flooring is. It really depends on a lot of those type of things. How much
Gotcha.
natural sunlight they're getting.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because paint color on the walls are going to reflect differently and look differently.
Exactly.
And it's also going to make the lighting feel different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why when we are in a house that's a lot of the blues and grays, go with that warm just to kind of warm it up a little bit, where it doesn't feel like it's a sterile hospital.
Well,
Jesse likes sterile hospitals.
not so much, but I really appreciate all this input. I hope you guys found a lot of input. We're
Check out our website.
we're on the we're coming up to the hour, so 3 minutes. How do people find you, and so forth?
Yes. So our website's Inspiring Homes 321. Facebook, Inspiring Homes 321. I kept it simple and consistent. Instagram, Inspiring Homes 321. We've got the podcast here. Jesse's going to put up our Facebook page. We've got a spring special going on. This is going to be recorded, so it's through April 30th. But if you happen to hear this before April 30th is over, check us out. Give us a call. We'd love to help you guys out, whether you're an occupied house, a vacant house, or you're living there and you just need to redecorate, update, and remodel and make some improvements to your home. We'd love to help you out.
Yeah, because that does happen here in Florida, where people will take over a loved one's who's passed, and
I was in a house yesterday.
it was
That's rough.
it hasn't been updated in 30 years, you know. So
Yes.
and that's a challenge. They don't want to get rid of the property; they just need it updated.
The
Right.
plastic's still on the couches.
And and did we finish all of your contact info?
I believe. Oh, phone number 321-806-6543.
Roofer Rob, how can people find you?
321-368-1881.
And Mr. Michelli with Movement Mortgage.
LoanApplyApproved.com, or you can call me on my cell phone 321-266-0703.
Excellent. And that's been another episode of the Space Coast Real Estate Show. Thanks so much for joining us. And until next time, may all of your homes be beautiful. May all of your lenders offer the best APRs. And and may all of your roofs be done by Roofer
That's
Rob.
a great toast.
As we exit out, again, thanks so much. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to have so much more coming at you guys. Until next time.
Bye.